in, that means you're feeling the vibe. The bell rung, you already been subscribed. Right now, the queen, she on live. Right now, please pull over the whip, no phoning when you drive. Dope Soul Sporting with the talk. First lady from New York, Brooklyn. All my people, you rocking with the chat. Hit that. That like button would tell me where you at. You know, step from the MBK. Born and raised up MBK. Hey, real lady, where she holding it down. No matter way how you feel, she gon' greet you with a smile.
Sister, you one of a kind.
Yes.
Oh, sister, it's time you
That's
shine. Dope Soul.
Where you at? Where you at?
Dope Soul.
Where you at? Where you at?
Dope Soul.
What?
Dope Soul.
What?
Your soul.
Where you at? Where you at?
Salute, Knick family. Welcome to the channel. Dope Soul Sports Talk. Dope Soul Knicks Talk, a member of the MBK family. This is the Just Knickin' It Weekly Show. I'm your host, Stephanie, a.k.a. Queen. Happy to be back. I know I didn't do the last two morning recap shows. Life has just gotten really, really busy, and I'm just trying to meet the moment. So I'm going to still do the morning recaps when I can. But it's just taking a lot of time. Maybe I just have to figure out how to par it down a little bit so the prep doesn't take as long, because I definitely missed the show. But I'm taking a course. I'm taking on more clients. It's just a lot going on right now. But I miss you guys. I'm going to still try to do the show this either Saturday or Sunday with Staffer and figure it out. But you'll definitely catch me here every Thursday. You'll catch me on the Queen's Court every Monday. And then I'll do my best in between to do the morning shows. And I'm a little behind even on the content for my Patreon. So hang in there. I got some great ideas coming up. Hopefully I could get to it this weekend. All right. Let me bring in the panel. Listen, I appreciate you guys. I don't take this for granted. You know, when somebody wants to come on the show, like, I'm like, what? Somebody wants to come on the show. Like, I appreciate that. Jerrell's been here every show unless he's sick or something. I appreciate that. Geoff called into the show one time. We can't get rid of him, and we don't want to get rid of him. So we appreciate him coming up in the level of the show. And tonight we got Kareem Grant. How's everybody doing?
Awesome. Salute to everybody. Salute to everybody in the chat. You know how we do every Thursday, man. We run Thursday. We the best show that's not on TV, I think. You know what I'm saying? Or you could put it on your TV just like I have us on the TV up here on the big screen in the living room. So.
And you won't be able to tell the difference.
Right. You got a smart TV. Put us up on the big screen with everybody else.
Yeah,
definitely. You fancy, huh?
Right. He is fancy. Shout out to the chat. J-Tab, I missed you too. JJ, East Blue Drew. Man, it's only been like 2 shows I missed, and I feel like it's been a really long time. David L, the X Productions. Geoff is here.
You got the best chat in the business, Queen. You got some great people now.
Yeah, no doubt. Johnny Davis, mega. Peace.
Mega the Dawn.
All right, so let's get right into it, because Jerrell has he told us he got a hard stop.
Hard out tonight.
At 10:30. We appreciate it. Oh, I do want to announce next week we're coming on Tuesday because Thanksgiving is Thursday.
Yep.
So we'll be on Tuesday at 9:00. And then I also have the date for the women's show, which is the following. This is one thing about Mac. The calendar doesn't come right up, but no worries. I have it right here.
Salute. I think we got a new person in the chat. Jazz Jordan said my first time. So salute to Jazz Jordan.
Yeah. Salute to Jazz Jordan.
That's my
Definitely.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah, welcome to the show. So when is it next? Okay. So the Wednesday the 29th is going to be the next ladies' night at 7 p.m. And I haven't talked to Jerrell and Geoff yet about us moving the show because the Thursday after Thanksgiving, the Knicks have a game.
We could do Tuesday again.
We could do Tuesday again, or we could the Knicks play Tuesday and Thursday. So I'm thinking Wednesday, and I'll just do a doubleheader. The ladies will go at 7, and then we'll go at 9.
Okay.
That works.
I don't want to kick y'all off though. What if y'all?
Yeah, I don't want to do that
I mean,
either. I don't want y'all go.
I think 2 hours is. You don't think 2 hours is enough? I think
Come
we'll
on, Queen.
see.
You know how I do.
And plus,
All right. Oh, if we go, well, what if we go at 9:30? That'll be 2.5. Now, come on, that's enough time.
And plus, Steph, if you're gonna be on to 7, you know sometimes we get off like around 12:30. You cool with that?
Yeah.
One night, or we can do it Friday.
One night.
Or we can do it Friday.
Oh, we can do it Friday.
I mean, if everybody's free, I don't mind. I'm free.
Right. Yeah. I think I'm free. The Knicks might have a game. Every time you turn around, the Knicks got a game. The Knicks got a game. But I'll be there. Lady and the Chef will be there. Ebony from Matt Nick fan will be there. Tsunami will be there. BK Chris will be there. So pretty much the same players for if you caught the first one. So it should be a lot of fun. But anyway, let's get into tonight. The Knicks are 4-1 over their last 5. I'm not even sure what the record was the last time we were here, but I think we might have been panicking, or some of the fans might have been panicking a little bit. We've right the ship. We're 6-5, 4-1 over the last 5. We're 7th in the Eastern Conference. We're 14th in offensive rating, 5th in defensive rating, 7th in net rating. We've righted the ship. Randle is looking better. Brunson is still, to me, he's there, but not quite there, in my opinion. We'll talk about that. But just what have you seen from the Knicks since we've been here last? What stood out for you, player-wise, team-wise, coach-wise? Yeah.
Okay. For me, real quick, I think we played very well last night. Especially in the first quarter, we jumped off to a big lead. But of course, just like we always do, the cardiac Knicks, had me in a panic in the fourth quarter, like we always do, and we pulled it out. Jalen Brunson with the dagger at the end, to put us up 3 with 18 seconds left or something like that. It was probably Julius Randle's best game, I would think. From a singular person standpoint, maybe Mitchell Robinson should get a lot of props. Like he pretty much dominated Clint Capella. He's had a pretty good season so far. Like I have no complaints off Mitch. We didn't have RJ, and we still been winning. I don't know what's up with the migraine. He's missing like 2 or 3 games for a migraine though, because I'm one of those type of people that used to get migraines a lot when I was younger. Usually don't last, at least for me. Everybody's different, but like a migraine for like a week straight, he need to do something. Like that's a lot of pain for you to be in for like multiple days straight. But salute to RJ, he's having a great season other than that so far. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Like I said, I usually do, like my assessment usually comes after like 20 games, but we're playing very, very, very well right now.
Yeah. No doubt about it. Any thoughts on Thibodeau? Let's get that out the way before Ajay come in.
I mean, Tibbs is Tibbs.
Complaints. That's how I feel, Jerrell. Like when we winning, he's great. He's pulling all the right moves. When we lose, I just feel like he's just being Tibbs no matter what. But
Tibbs be Tibbs. Yeah, Tibbs be Tibbs. For some reason, like fans don't put the losses on the play. The losses on the players. Like all the losses usually go on the coach for some reason. I don't know what that is. Maybe it's just, if you don't like Tibbs, that's what you're going to look to anyway if we're losing the game. But yeah, Tibbs is fine, man. Tibbs is going to be Tibbs. If anything, we need to worry about like if the players change something. Tibbs is not going to change, I don't think. He's going to be the same person that he is now, that he's going to be at the end of the season when we actually do make the playoffs. So we just need our players to step up when they're supposed to, and Tibbs will be fine.
Yeah.
I agree.
Geoff, just your thoughts on anything you've seen this season, the past 5 games?
Welcome back, Julius Randle, to the land of the living, man. Woo! That was a rough stretch to start the year, but I'll tell you what, I liked the way he played last night. In the fourth quarter, he was like telling the Knicks to get the ball to IQ. He knew IQ was being guarded by Trey, and he knew that Trey couldn't stop him, and he's like, get that man the ball.
Right.
And that's a huge leap for me, in my opinion. I love to see that out of Randle. I thought his game was great. I mean, he almost had a triple-double, so the stats were there. The shooting was there, but I loved his mentality that whole game. First of all, he had the 14-point first quarter just like it was last year. You know, that's what he would do all the time and get off to those fast starts and then of course then set it up for Jalen to close at the end. But even this time it was IQ as well, and he comes up with a huge rebound on that free throw, you know, and cut to the basket. When was the last time you saw Julius Randle make a cut to the basket? The fourth quarter, that man cut to the basket, got an easy layup off a Jalen Brunson pass. I was like, that's my guy. That's what I want to see. I was real happy with you know, and RJ didn't even play, and I thought the Knicks did a good job. I really did. I thought they did a nice job with that with that game. Atlanta's a good basketball team, and we beat them twice in our own building. I think that bodes well for our season. You know, and I'm a little bit concerned about Grimes' injury. I hope he didn't break his hand or anything. Has anybody heard anything about that? Because I haven't seen. I've been checking. I hadn't seen, but I don't really want him to miss a lot of time because I feel like his defense, especially in that game, was really good and put up 11 shots. He made 3 of 8 from three. He's you know, staying up at that 40%. And you know, I have some thoughts on Immanuel Quickley too, but I think that's a major topic. So I don't want to jump the gun on that one, so to speak. But and then as Jerrell said, my guy Mitch just owning the glass and the steals. He had 3 steals again last night. I mean, really just affecting the game on the defensive side of the floor more so than he ever has. And I just hope that it's not, you know, I'm always everything early in the season is small sample size. But I also look, is it something that, like, is he just shooting lights out like 70%? Is it something that's sustainable? You know, that's always it. And I don't see any reason why what he's doing isn't sustainable. You know what? The things that he's doing, at least knock on wood, wherever you got it. But it just feels like what he's doing is sustainable. And now that he's taken his game to the next level, and RJ's kind of taken his game to the next level when he, you know, he's got to get some Excedrin in his diet or something. Though we gotta fix that migraine business. But he's taking his game to the next level, and that's going to make it easier for Randle and easier for Brunson. Brunson's not all the way back yet. His inside the paint numbers are still a little bit off, but every time he sees the Hawks, that 3-pointer just seems to go in. That's the second time this year he torched them from deep. So, you know, and when we needed it, he hit that mid-range jumper just like he's riding that bike again. But I think it was like 2 of 9 or something like that. He struggled a little bit, but I don't really worry about Brunson all that much. But what I do love about Brunson's game this year is I think his defensive prowess is going a little bit. You know, the narrative last year, and I propagated it too, was that he just can't play defense. He's too small. He's really made a concerted effort on the defensive end to really step up that part of his game. And I think that's a Thibodeau influence. I'm going to give Coach Tibbs some credit there because I think Jalen Brunson's defensive performances have been a lot better this year than I've ever seen from him. So I think that's encouraging.
Yeah. And we'll get into Randle and Brunson. I have their numbers on the season and the last five games. And we'll probably start with Randle before we get into IQ. Kareem, welcome to the show. My brother met down in Washington. We went to the Washington game. We're going back again, actually, that January game. We're going back. But how you been and what have you seen?
Well, first of all, I want to say salute to my sister Jazz Jordan. That's my older sister, and my twin
Okay.
sisters in here, Kalana Rice. That's my twin sister.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
well, I know for the summer, we the past summer we made minor moves, and I know that the key word was continuity, and
Hmm.
I think we're starting to see that now.
Right.
Definitely last night, and also, with Dante, and I know that he didn't really do that much last night, almost cost us the game. But I see why they have him, and with now Grimes is out, and the RJ, it's got to be next man up, and they showed up last night, and we pulled off that win. So I'm proud of that, and I also like Mitchell. Mitchell,
Yeah.
he's been a
Obviously.
lot better defensively, and
Mhm.
we also forgetting Hardenstein.
Yes.
He was he was amazing, and
Yeah.
if we could put them both together, we had the perfect center. But I call him Mitch Hardenstein, But I like the also the I say between Randall and Mitch, they starting to mesh better, and they looking out for Mitch now. Giving him
Mhm.
the ball, and
Mhm.
having him
Mhm.
score. So I like what I'm seeing. Brunson is Brunson. Just like just said, defensively, I can see he's getting a little better. You know, um, but I hope that quickly, you know, uh, get a little better on defense, and I can also see him starting with Brunson. If Grimes don't, if he's
Right.
out. But I
Yeah.
think that this weekend we're gonna see the same thing we saw last night.
Yeah. We're gonna have an opportunity to make some hay this weekend.
Hmm.
Ready. We need to.
Knicks,
We
Knicks
will.
win both of these games. I don't
Amen.
want to be showing
We
up
will.
Monday to the Queen's Court. Like, come on.
These are
Um,
games we should win.
no
So
doubt about it. These are games we definitely should win. What stood out for me? I think what stood out for me is our 3-point shooting. Right now, we are over the last 5 games, our 2-point shooting is it's coming along, but our 3-point shooting is 7th in the league right now.
mm,
7th. And our 3-point shooting over the last 5 games, that 4-1 stretch, we were 1st in the league in 3-point shooting. Um, Still 28th in field goal percentage, but I think that's because those first few games was just atrocious. We're trending up, but it's gonna take some time. And over those last 5 games, the last 5 games, we were 14th in field goal percentage, but it's really our 3-point percentage that's carrying us. We're just shooting lights out. I think over this last 5 games, Barrett is 50 something percent, 50% from 3.
mm.
Brunson is around 50% from 3 over the last 5 games, and IQ is 48 or something of that sort. Like, we just killing it from the 3-point line, and if we can do that, it just opens up a world of possibilities, for us because now you have to pick your poise if we can keep it up. Because I think the what's the word? The teams know that we're not a good 3-point shooting team. They packing it in the paint.
Uh-huh.
Now, what are you gonna do? You gotta choose.
Yeah, they're trying to
You're gonna
play
pack it
zone.
in the paint or you're gonna stay home with the shooters. You stay home in the shooters, we got players who can operate in the paint. Brunson, Randall, Mitch, RJ, and now they'll have the space that they need. So I'm loving the 3-point shooting. I like Randall coming back. I like the easy shots that we're getting, looking for each other. Randall, I don't know if you've heard the interview he did last night after the game, and he talked about they're making a concerted effort to make the extra pass, to move the ball, move their bodies, try to loosen things up a little bit defensively and get some easy shots. And it's not really reflecting a lot in our assists per game. I think we were a little better over this 4 game stretch, but it's just some of the passes they're making is because I'm not used to it. Like I'm not used to Randall making the extra pass. I'm not used to IQ making the extra pass. Brunson sometimes, so it's just like wow. Is good to see. But that's what's standing out for me. The shooting, the defense, we're 5 now. It looks like we're gonna have a top 10 defense. And it's just a matter of if our offense gonna stay the course. Um,
One quick question, real quick. The extra passing.
mhm.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know, Jeff. Because I don't know, Jerrell. I know they're making a concerted effort, so they say.
Mm-hmm.
But Tibbs says that all the time. So I
Exactly.
don't know what's different now. Like he says that all the time. The
Mm-hmm.
the the defense will tell you what to do, or the game will tell you what to do. And I don't know what it's been telling the Knicks because they haven't been doing it.
You're right. Because that's why I be saying all the time, Tibbs be up there lying. Because we do say it all the time, and that's not our offense usually. But like you said, these past 5 games has been different. So
Yeah, and it just goes to show, a lot of not a lot, but some in the fan base thinks that, and in the chat, that the offense is archaic. It's the same offense.
mhm.
It just looks more dynamic when you have players who are reading the defense and willing to make the extra pass. It looks like a totally different offense, but it's the same. What was that play? It went was it IQ to DiVincenzo to Mitch for the dunk or something like that?
Mhm.
Um, Same offense. So they're
Maybe
just
it
more
speaks
willing.
to what Kareem was saying about the continuity. Maybe
Mhm.
that familiarity with each other and what people can do and where to get people the ball in the right spots. It's
Yeah.
one thing to just pass the ball. It's another thing to get it in his shooting pocket where he's ready to just let fly as soon as he catches it too. So I think that it speaks to what Kareem was talking about, that the continuity being together for another year. Maybe the trust factor is a little bit higher, that I know that these guys, I can get them the ball and they're going to do something good with it.
Mhm.
You know, that wasn't really the case the first 3 or 4 games. Nobody could do anything with it, but it really seems like you know everything looks better when you make shots.
Every that's what I've been saying.
Yeah,
Everything
yeah.
looks better when you make shots. But I have noticed because honestly, I haven't held out a lot of hope for ball movement because of the players that we have. IQ, Brunson, Randall. I just feel like those guys, particularly when they get in the key, just feel like I can make this shot. Ain't no sense of me. Ain't no sense of me passing it up. So I
Right.
really haven't held out a lot of hope for consistent ball movement because of those guys. But as of late, they've really been willing to make the extra pass. So we'll see. We'll definitely see. Before we get into IQ, let's just talk a little bit about Randall. He came out and acknowledged that his ankle isn't 100%. He said last night that it's getting better. Um, on the season, 19 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists, only shooting 36% from the field, 28% from three, 71% from the free throw line, a bit below at least his efficiency numbers. But the last 25 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists, shooting 44.4% from the field, still below his average, 35.5% from three, which is good for him, and 80% from the line. What have you seen from Randall? Were you worried? Um, is this something you just knew he would bounce back? Just your thoughts. Kareem, we'll start with you, Geoff, then Jerrell.
Well, I noticed as far as his scoring was a little shabby at first, but what I liked is that he was doing the other things as far as rebounding, passing the ball, trying to get steals and stuff, and looking out for the other players. So that stood out to me the most, and I hope that he keeps that up. because the
Hmm.
scoring will come, as it goes on, because he's Randall, and we're not used to him starting off the season like this, but we know Randall, and you know how he is. He's determined, and he'll get it together eventually. So I'm not worried about that. And I was shocked to know that he was still going through with the surgery and stuff, and trying to get better and stuff. So I was shocked on that. But we know Randall, he hard headed. He's still going to play regardless.
Right.
No matter what anybody says. So I appreciate that, but at the same time, make you a little nervous. Like, hey, if the coach, if the doctor say chill out, you need to chill out. But I
Yeah.
respect that. So, but I know he'll get better as the season go on.
Yeah. Yeah. Jeff?
Well, I don't think anybody thought he was going to be historically bad for 82 games. I mean, it's a 27 or 28% for like a week. I mean, I don't think he's had a stretch that bad probably his whole career. It was rough for him, and that it kind of makes sense with the ankle and it's funny because I kind of like when he hurt it during the playoffs last year, I was kind of thinking, what's he going to be like to start the season? And then I guess I got amnesia when, over the course of the summer, because I just assumed, because I saw, he looked good when he was, when he
Hmm.
was in his workouts and everything, the mobility and everything looked like it was there. And then he came back and it was like Brick City, USA. And so, but I never really attributed that to the injury per se, but I just really like his process. We talk about that with RJ a lot, but
Right.
but
Right.
I really think that he's thinking the game for probably the first time in his career.
Mm.
It just really seems like that to me. At least, I mean, that Hawks game, that's as fine as I've ever. He's had better offensive games scoring wise, but as far as the total package, I think that was one of his finest games as a Knick. I mean, he shot 50% from the field.
Hmm.
He was taking the ball, shooting the ball from the right spots. He was looking for his teammates. He was active. He was engaged. Like I said, he cut to the basket, which I mean, if
Mhm.
he'll do that,
Hmm.
that's going to make his life a lot easier. And just to have Brunson find him like that in a key spot, I think even the Hawks were surprised. They're like, what? And so because that's not something that he typically does. That's we don't associate Julius Randle with off-ball movement. That's
Right.
not that he's incapable of that, but
Right.
he, that's just not something that he's typically done. So I like that he's looking to expand his game and do more things. And if the shot hasn't been falling, he's stuck with it. And more importantly, the Knicks stuck with him. Like, I don't
Mm.
think there was ever a moment they were just like, it's Julius, he's going to be fine. Like, the fans were like, trade him for a bucket of golf balls or whatever, but the team was just like, he's gonna figure it out. He's gonna, you know, and from the outside we don't see that stuff. Like, we don't see what kind of therapy they're having to go through in between games, and
Right.
what the medical staff is having to do to get them ready for game day. And those aren't things that we see, and it's certainly not something the Knicks are going to publicize. I mean, they're as hushed mouth as it comes when it comes to the media,
Right.
much to Josh's chagrin. But so I really was impressed with us, and I hope that it continues. If if that's the version of Julius Randle that we get, the league's in trouble, man, because if, if his process is good, his talent is elite.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's not even in question. He punished. He was stronger than them, and he punished Sadiq Bey, Hunter, whoever was on him. I mean, I don't expect that every night. I think it depends on who he's playing, but that's part of the process. You have somebody that you're stronger than, take them down in the post. You have somebody who you're not, then you work from the outside, just being able to read the defense. But I have no concern about Julius Randle. I feel that Julius has crossed over, so to speak. and that we just kind of know what we're going to get from him game in and game out, season in and season out. And, you know, his processing the first couple of games, I was a little concerned. But since then, I just feel like he's been him. You know, he's been him. And we need him to be him if we have any aspirations, you know, because if he falls off and Brunson falls off and Quickley steps up and RJ steps up, we right back where we are.
True.
We need Randle and Brunson to be them and Quickley and RJ to continue to play the way they're playing out. And shout out to Josh. We'll get into, you know, IQ later.
Mhm.
And he feels that IQ is one of the biggest keys to our success. I think that the top four, I mean, when you think about it, you're like, I think the top four, you know, like Randle, Brunson, RJ, and IQ is the key. But then Mitch is a key too. And then we need the bench. So at the end of the day, it just comes down to we need everybody. You
Right.
know?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what happens when you don't have a team with like a superstar on it. Like everybody has to play well in order for us to make the playoffs and go forward. Everybody.
That's what I was thinking about before. Do we need a superstar? Do we have to get a superstar? Or can we just be a good team that have, you know, players that, you know, support the other players or, you know, come off the bench? Like, do we really need a superstar?
Depends on what you're trying to do. I
I
think
was
we
about to say the
can
same
be a
thing.
good team without a superstar. I think we can be a good team without a superstar. Can we win a
Championship without one though? Yeah, right.
That's what I don't know. But yeah, I think we can be a really good team. Without a superstar, we can.
Right.
Yeah. And we are 47 and 47 wins last year, maybe 50 this year. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I don't want to get too ahead of myself about the playoffs. I have my concerns. But as far as the regular season is concerned, the Knicks, I think they're going to be good. And the thing before we get to IQ is fast break points and points off turnovers is becoming part of our equation, and it really wasn't last season. You know, we're averaging like 20 fast break points a game. You know, we're averaging like 18 to 20 points off of our turnovers. What do you guys think that's about? The steals, the fast break points, and points off turnovers. Is that DiVincenzo? Is that second team running more? What do you think that is?
I actually think it's Dante DiVincenzo. I mean, his impact on the team it might not seem like that much, but that's the only thing that's different is just him compared to Obi and him being a guard and able to actually push the ball when he get it and get a lot of steals when he does, you know, play on the ball. So I actually think it's Dante DiVincenzo.
I think it's that entire second unit, actually. I think RJ has been, when RJ plays with that second unit group, all of those guys, even Hartenstein, they can just get the ball and go. You know what I mean? And then another part of that is Mitchell Robinson getting steals.
Yes.
You know that's not something that we saw before, so that increases the turnovers too. But I more so even than Mitch Rob, I just like the speed of that second unit. They play small ball, they play at a fast pace. Doesn't matter who has the ball, everybody can push the tempo and go. And I just, you know, I really feel like, especially the way that RJ has played this year, I think that really factors into and he's been good defensively. That there's no question about that. But this is Barrett's finest defensive season since his second year, and I don't think it's close. And I think he's been better this year than he was in year two. And maybe that's just me being a homer, but I'm really impressed what I've. And I was.
I don't.
You know,
you're a homer for RJ? No, I don't think so. I think you're being objective.
So
I don't think you're being a homer.
So I really like what he's and I think that he really is. I think one of the reasons we're 1-3 without him is because we're missing that from the second unit when he's not there. He really he really adds another dimension, that extra ball handler, and he does things on the court with that group that Brunson and Randle don't really do when they're added to it. And he gives us, and it also puts more burden on Brunson and Randle to have to, run with those guys, where if they can get rest, and then you just don't skip a beat with Barrett and those four, I just think that makes a big difference.
Let's not forget that. Let's not forget. This is a continuation of last season. When they injected RJ with the bench, and you see that they move better, and now adding Dante in it, I think it's like a chain reaction, because now you got Hart and Dante that's playing together with RJ, and IQ. They they can move the ball, and they can get to the back and forth faster. So I like what they're doing right now, because it's just a continuation from last season. It's got better.
And Hartenstein with that unit, he's a ball mover as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely.
For sure. And to Jeff's point, you got Josh Hart, who he get a rebound. You got your four power forward, whether it's him or RJ, grabbing a rebound and going court. Which four is going to keep up with that? If you're going to grab a rebound and just take it down the court, if you're the defender, which four is defending that? Ripping a rebound and just dribbling it down. Like who's defending that? So I do think that does give us an advantage. And I think they're making a concerted effort on that second unit to play faster. Yeah. And period. You even see Tibbs telling them, get the ball up the court, get the ball up the court. Some of it, I think, is the tendency of our players too. Especially in that first unit. Trying to get Randle and Brunson and that first unit, my goodness. Their tendency, walk it up,
right,
head up,
right.
They have different tendencies. So I think that's been a challenge, I think, for Tibbs to get them to play a certain way, because he's been talking about a read and react offense forever, and I'm like, with who?
What?
Yeah.
Right.
Read and react with who? But they're making a concerted effort. Lately, and it shows. Anything else about Randle before we move into IQ?
Yeah, good.
Yeah, so with IQ, do you think he's making it harder on the Knicks? Now, the Knicks don't talk to us, so we don't know what their plans are. We don't know if them not signing us means that they're moving him. If them not signing him just means that they want to see more before they commit. Like, we don't know what it means. But do you think the way that he's playing now, that he's putting a lot of pressure on them to not move him, if that's what they were thinking? If they were thinking of moving him, do you think his recent plays put pressure on them to rethink that?
I don't really think so, because I think if we were going to move IQ, it would be for something that's not him, if that makes sense. Like I don't think we would trade him for like another guard or anything. I think it'll be like either a wing or a backup for something like that, or he'll be, in a package for a superstar. So I actually think this is a good thing, and his trade value is actually going up. Like, so they actually might like this. So I don't know if it's, put more pressure on him. I think for them, if they was going to decide to move him, this is a good thing for them. It's not pressure. Like, it's not
changing their mind. It's basically saying, oh, we can get more now.
Exactly.
Wow. I never thought of that. That's a good point. Jeff?
I'm really impressed with the way that Quickley is playing this year. His assist percentage is 25.
Right. For those who say he doesn't pass.
His assist percentage is 25. I think that's that's a career high for him. And he's taking more shots than he ever has. All at the same time, I think he's averaging like 11 shots per game still, and in fewer minutes.
Less minutes, yep.
And so, and his defense is good. Although I am I'm a huge Quickly fan. The more I see of them play like this, the more I'm thinking we have to keep him. I mean, I really, and salute to Josh. I think he said I loved his comment the other day. Where he was basically saying they should have paid that man, but I'll say this: we can still pay that man. So there's no saying we can't sign him to an extension during this season, but that doesn't mean we can't come to an agreement first thing in June, that doesn't mean we can't match the contract that goes out there. So he's not out the door by any stretch of the imagination, and I think it's going to be one of two scenarios. He's either going to be here for an extended period of time, for a long time, to be part of this core, or he's going out the door for a superstar. I think those are the two options quickly at this point. I will say this though. I think one of the things that I noticed last night, and maybe this was just a last night thing, Grimes is a little bit better of an on-ball defender to me than Quickley is, and maybe it's just because of the size. But I've been high on my Quickley praise defensively, and I think in terms of an off-ball defender from our backcourt, he's the best that we have. I think his instincts on that end and his ability to quarterback the defense is something that nobody else on the team really has. But in terms of, and I think that may be one of the reasons why Grimes starts, is because in terms of on-ball defense, guarding the best player on the like whether it be Trae Young, like when Grimes was on Trae wasn't knocking down anything. I mean, I think Young hit like 4 of 12 shots the whole game, which that doesn't. He had 17 assists, so it's not like he was not doing anything. But as far as scoring the ball, he didn't have it. I don't think he really did in either one of the games that we played against him, and I don't think that Murray shot the ball really that great either. And so I think that's a testament to both of those guards. But I just think that as far as on the ball defense, because of his size, Grimes kind of brings a different dimension to us than what Quickley can. And I think also, they like that pairing with Quickley and DiVincenzo and Barrett, where you have multiple ball handlers and you can do a bunch of different things in that second unit. They have a lot of versatility with Quickley that way. But I'm thrilled with the way IQ is playing. I think he's been even better than last year, and he's shooting almost 39% from three this year on a decent volume. And like I said, the assist percentage is 5 for your backup point guard. I think that's all you can ask. And guess what? He's closing games. Even when Grimes is healthy, it's IQ that's in that closing lineup, and that's not an accident. I mean, he brings a lot, and it's just like we were down 7. I thought that game was over. And, not literally, but you know how in the old days with your TV, you had your finger on the button ready to turn it off, and you just kind of waiting. I was kind of in that mode. And then, what happens? Quickly comes down, he hits a big 3. Then Mitch has the block. He had to rebound. Quickly has a 2-pointer, 5 quick points. We're back in the game. And then he made 3 or 4 or 4 out of 5 at the line down the stretch also. I mean, he was a monster in that fourth quarter for us. And so
10 points.
That really shows me, what he's capable of. And I'm not that anybody didn't know before, but I think this is his best season so far, knock on wood. I mean, again, small sample size, we have to see it continue, but I really like what we're seeing from Quick.
I mean, I think for Quickley, it's the same as with Randle and the same with RJ. It's the process. I don't really look at Quickley's. I appreciate his points, don't get me wrong, because there's sometimes he's out there, he look like a nut to me. And he have the same amount of points, and I'm like, I'm not impressed. I'm just not impressed, because we know you can get your shot, but I think he's doing a good job of, he's back to that fine line between when to pass, when to shoot, still playing good defense. These past few games, I just thought his overall floor game has been really, really good. On the season, he's averaging 15 points, 3.5 rebounds, 3.8 assists, shooting 45.5% from the field, 39% from three, and 88.6% from the free throw line. In the last five, 14 points, 2.4 rebounds, almost 5 assists, 44.2, 48% from three, and 92.3% from the free throw line. And to X Production's point, he puts a lot of pressure on the defense. The thing about Grimes is you can hide your worst defender on Grimes, your worst wing defender on Grimes, because you know he's not gonna. He's been putting the ball on the floor a little bit, but that's not really his game. So when we played the Clippers, they put Harden on him. You ain't putting Harden on IQ. So I think that is something that IQ brings. Yeah, whoever you put on him, there's the potential. He better be a good defender. Put it that way. Kareem, just your thoughts on how he's been playing so far, and do you think if the front office was thinking about trading him, he's changing their minds?
Like Jerrell said earlier, it's hard
Tell
to
your
make
truth.
a
Tell your
judgment.
truth. You ain't gotta. you ain't gotta go with the herd.
It's like I don't know. It's like I have to wait 20 games in to really determine. But as of right now, is it's he just don't seem right, And
Okay.
I know in the summertime he was working out with JJ and everything, and
Oh, you
that's
talking
all
about
well and good.
Grimes?
Yeah, talking about Grimes.
Oh, I thought you were talking
Uh,
about IQ. Okay.
oh yeah. Um, but like I said earlier, if IQ work on his defense, get more work on his defense, get a little better, he will definitely be starting over Grimes.
Mm.
And I know that Tibbs is he loved Grimes because he played defense and everything, but he just I don't know, he just don't seem the same. And I'd rather have IQ starting, and I think that the IQ should have had his contract settled before the season started. And I know in the beginning of the season he was rushing, forcing his shots and everything, and looking like the black hole and everything. But it just he had to work his way in, and he got better. And I think that that the way he's playing, I think it will cause the office to look back at Grimes like, hey, maybe we could trade him because it's not like he's bad. He's a good player, and he has more value. So they won't be losing anything if they do trade him. That's what I believe.
Yeah. I mean, I think if a star becomes available, all hands on deck. I mean, it's gonna depend on who they want, whether it's IQ or Grimes. Um, I don't know if the Knicks are going to say IQ is untouchable. What do you think?
Untouchable.
Hold up a
Right
trade.
Well, hold on. Didn't like Grimes hold up a trade?
Reportedly so.
Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah, by that logic, then yeah, they definitely would do it. By that logic, but yeah, I don't think they should though. I think it just depends on the trade. So
I think when it comes to a forward or whatever mix of guards you want,
right,
2 out of 3,
right.
whatever mix.
I don't see IQ going anywhere. I don't see it.
Hold on though, but Kareem, do you not see him going anywhere because you don't see that deal existing, or because they love him so much they won't trade him for anybody? Because that's two different things.
Yeah, I don't think they'll trade him for anybody. I think they like IQ.
They got a funny way of showing it.
If that's the case, they should start him. Then he should be in the starting lineup over Grimes.
They got a funny way of showing it,
right? Because the stuff that they're doing seem like they don't like him. Mainly bringing in Dante DiVincenzo. Like I still don't get that. Because like I said, like when we got him, I think Dante eventually could be and should be IQ's replacement. Like he's a lot cheaper than IQ. He doesn't do the same things, obviously, but he's a guard. He'll be a guard coming off the bench, and we need a wing. So I don't know. The writing was kind of on the wall, but I don't know. Now things seem different.
Well, let me ask the panel this: do we still need a wing, given how RJ's played? Number one, and then number two. Yes, if we trade IQ, we have DiVincenzo, we have Grimes, but they not IQ though. In terms of being able to get you that bucket in the clutch when when you need it. So we have somebody that can fill the position, so to speak. But I don't know, unless you're saying that Dante can do more, just that we just haven't seen it yet, and that I can't really argue against because I don't really know him that well. But do we still need a wing if RJ is who he's looking to be?
I don't know, man. Grimes seemed like he's injury prone. He gets hurt every year. And RJ got migraines right now. So maybe this isn't good timing for this question, but I get exactly what you mean. Because right now we definitely need a wing. Because the next game we probably either going to start Dante DiVincenzo and Hart. Like that, like both of
RJ still out?
Well, I don't know. Like with migraines and stuff, that can be.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything.
That's the only thing about migraines. That could be any day at any time. That could happen in the playoffs if you get migraines bad, and you're not going to play with a migraine. Like you can't ask him to do anything like that. So I don't know. It could be ongoing. I don't know RJ to have had migraines in the past, so this is kind of new for me. But I could be wrong. But if this is a new thing, they need to figure out why, like what's happening, because that's a major thing.
What about Fournier?
No,
Fournier just sitting on the bench.
See, you gonna come up here on this panel.
He's just sitting on the bench. I mean, I know he's got problem with defense and all, but yeah.
See, if it was us, Kareem, we've already had this conversation a lot on this show. If it was us, if it was one of us, Fournier would probably be getting a little bit of playing time here and there. But yeah, Tibbs it's over. Like I don't see it happening.
Right. I want to go back to the question I asked and amend it a little. We've been talking about us needing a wing. Should now we be focused? Do you still think we need a wing? Well, I guess a shooting. Well, whenever I read wing, because we were always talking about 6'8" wings, I'm thinking a small forward. But with the way RJ is playing, should we shift our focus to bringing in a veteran shooting guard, or do we feel like we just have so many, we just don't need another one, veteran or not?
Somebody got to go. Somebody will have to go. But when I say wing, I kind of mean either a 2 or a 3. I think it just depends on who that 2 or 3 is.
Just having a tall RJ at 6'6" and another one at 6'8". Just
right.
2. Okay, gotcha.
Right. It just depends on who it is. But yeah, that's a tough question, Steph. I don't know.
We so guard heavy. I mean,
go ahead, Kareem.
I was saying we so guard heavy. I mean, somebody got to go.
Have to. I mean, a lot of Zach LaVine rumors been swirling around lately.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
To the Knicks?
You don't want to.
Yeah.
You don't want to come here.
To the Knicks, the Lakers, a couple other teams too. But Zach seemed like he's on his way out, and DeRozan might follow him. Like both of them might be gone. It doesn't seem like the Bulls got anything going, so they might sell.
Okay. Thoughts on LaVine?
I don't want him.
You say you don't want him, Jeff? That's what you said?
I don't want him. LaVine? No.
Nah, he don't even want to come here. So.
Yeah, he did.
You don't really have a choice, though.
Yeah,
he's not a free agent.
Yeah. Will he act out like Harden though?
No, I
No,
don't think he.
no,
No,
no.
I don't know if anybody do that. Like, seemed like Harden got that.
It just seemed like he's low key trying to force his way out of Chicago. So I was like, oh, here we go.
That's
You
true.
know,
I
Oh, he
just
is
don't
trying
see
to force his way.
Levine
I
as a
haven't read
winning
the
player.
stories, the articles. He's trying to force his way out.
It seems
I
like
think
it.
low key between Clutch Sports and stuff, and his management, and I know they have beef with this, our CAA, so I just I don't think he'll make a right fit for us because he don't
Right,
want to
right.
be here. But I'll take DeRozan in a heartbeat. If I had to trade quickly, I'll do it.
See, I don't think DeRozan fits either.
If
I mean,
he's
I think
willing to
you
come
have
off the
to.
bench,
I think you have to change the
Good question too.
roster significantly if you're going to bring in DeMar. I mean, you're talking about another. He's a bigger guard, but he doesn't shoot the ball particularly well. He tries to get us. I mean, you're talking about another guy who wants the ball in the similar spots to where Brunson does, where Randall does, where RJ does. So,
Right.
I mean, I just don't think DeRozan is not that DeRozan isn't a good player, but he's an older player, and I just don't see the fit with this particular team. Not to say that you couldn't rearrange it, but I think you would. I don't think that's a trade the Knicks would make in season because I don't think that it fits well with what we have, and I don't think they're wanting to shake up the entire thing unless they're bringing in the top 5, top 10 player.
Yeah, well, that's something that pisses me off with the Knicks because I just feel like the Knicks have enough assets to improve the team and still have enough to get a star, but that's just my gripe with them. I just have a hard time with them holding pat, waiting for Giannis, he resigns, waiting for this one resigns, waiting for Embiid. Next thing you know, he has Maxey. They in first place, second place, he resigns.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I'm just having a hard time with that. But I hear you. I hear what you're saying. But I agree as far as DeMar. I like him because he's seasoned. I feel like this team is really young. He's seasoned. He can get a basket when you need it. But he's another one that plays best with the ball in his hand.
That's true.
He plays best with the ball in his hand. I like the fact that RJ now, if the 3-point shooting continues, looks to be somebody who can play on and off the ball. If his shot continues, so then that kind of opens up, the offense a little bit for somebody. But there's only but so many balls to go around. So yeah, I'm not sure about DeMar. Levine. I think my only issue with Levine is that I haven't seen him in the playoffs. That's my, I would prefer to bring somebody in who has some playoff experience.
Well, I don't know. I think when it comes to that, I think it depends on the person too, because there's a lot of players linked to us that don't have really good playoff experience.
That you think would still be good for us?
Yep.
We just take the chance and figure it out.
Yeah. I figure it out, Steph. I figured it out.
Who are some of those names, Jerrell?
SGA, Brandon Ingram don't really got no playoff experience like that.
SGA been linked to us? Yeah. Great.
Yeah. Anybody on New Orleans? We've been linked to like 4 players on that team. None of them have ever done anything. Who else?
I've seen Brandon Ingram perform in the playoffs in 1 year though. The last 2 playoffs he was in, he played well. Last season and the season before that, when they made it, he played well in the playoffs.
Okay.
But I hear what you're saying. They not like their teams. We talk about first round. It's not like their teams went to like the Eastern Conference Finals.
Right.
I hear you on that.
We was trying to get Paul George in here. It ain't like he,
You're right.
Ain't like he been going to the conference finals every year. Like, even though he's obviously an established player, but
You're right.
Yeah, most of the players that we picked hasn't won championships at all. Like just
right. Embiid as well, who struggled, hasn't got out of the second round. So you're right.
Right.
All right, but at least he has some games. You know what I mean? He knows what it's about. I don't
That
know
is
if
true.
Levine has ever been to the playoffs, has he?
Once.
You
Once he
probably
has.
once, but he's been on some bad teams too. A lot of that isn't his fault. I don't think he's good enough to carry a team by himself.
That's true too.
So, I mean, any those Chicago teams, I mean, what did you ever think that they was going to do, or how far you thought they was going to go? Even with him and DeMar DeRozan, that team doesn't look good, really. Like I can see why they selling.
Right.
They missed Lonzo Ball.
That's a major thing. They look like a completely different team with a healthy Lonzo.
Yeah. I mean, broken down BI, he always injured, but I tell you,
I'll take it.
he have to come to New York in an ambulance, but I would
Right.
be right.
That's what I'm saying. We just had to. Once we get him here, we'll figure the
You
playoffs.
can holding his hand in the ambulance, though.
Right. Right. Send them cupcakes and flowers and all that. Like try to get well, big fella. You know what I'm saying? We need you for the
Come right
playoffs.
in, go right to the hospital for special
Yep.
surgery for
Yep.
physical.
Yep. I'll be all in the gift shop and everything, Steph. Spending money. He a millionaire, but I'm up there spending money on him. Yeah, I figure it out, man. Get the talent here first, then we'll figure it out.
Okay. And I'll also say that, you know, for those who haven't played defense where they are, you'll be surprised what a change of environment can do if they have the tools. If they have the tools. I remember Booker playing much better under Monty Williams than before Monty Williams got there. And also Steph Curry playing a little better with Steve Kerr, you know, as well. So, you know, if they have the defensive tools, you know, if they come here, you're going to play for the Knicks, you know, I like to think that they'll be able to do it. But
Well, ain't it true that we have the best medical staff anyway?
so they say.
Man.
Yeah. King Ribby says, stop with the play. Well, that's why I want to bring players in that have playoff experience, because we don't. We don't have you know, we don't have playoff players with playoff experience.
Man, we can't stop with the playoffs. That's the goal. Got to the second round last year. I say all the time that we was the youngest team in all of the playoffs. Yeah, we have to go back. So we got to talk playoff talk.
Yeah.
I don't know. Paul George would look good in a Knick uniform, though.
He would. I was just talking, Geoff. He definitely would.
Yeah.
I was just talking mess. Know what I'm saying? I mean, he hasn't won anything really, but yes, he definitely would look good. Like he fits perfectly in a Knicks uniform. The way our team is constructed now, he fits perfectly.
He would fit perfectly. You know, the fact that he's 40 years old and is injured. In his injury history, that gives him a little pause. Right. He would be perfect. But this is the thing with a Paul George, and there's no rumors of Paul George coming to the Knicks.
No, not no more.
You think the Knicks are at a point in their progression to bring on an older player? Like a Paul, let's just say it's not even Paul George, but somebody that's 34 years old, plays good, you know, a Paul George prototype at 34. Do you think that we're there yet to bring on a player like that?
I actually think so. I think we're perfect for a vet because I keep saying we were the youngest team in the playoffs. Young teams don't win in the playoffs. Like young teams don't go to the finals. Like we need some old people. The old people that we had was Derrick Rose. He was good coming off the bench. Obviously, you know, we got rid of him. Evan Fournier is the older dude. He's not playing. Like the oldest people that actually give any type of burn on our team is Julius Randle.
Yeah.
So if Julius Randle is your old vet, yeah, we have a problem. Somebody else got to be the old vet, man. You want Julius Randle out of all people to be your old vet. He's the most emotional player on the team. So get an old dude in here, you know, that don't go to the club, don't have to worry about none of that. He a family man. He just come and play ball. That's all he do.
Jeff, what's your thoughts on that? Do you think that the team and its progression is at a point to bring in a older, because that means selling off some of your youth, and I think that does kind of accelerate your window in terms of what you're trying to do.
Let's make the team better. If we could get a guy in here who's, I'm even going to say Paul George. If you can get Paul George in here for a reasonable price, I think that raises the ceiling of this year's team.
What's reasonable, Jeff? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but what's reasonable? And while you're talking, just
I hadn't thought it through to that extent, but let's say it costs you Immanuel Quickley and draft capital and draft swaps. I don't know what they want. I mean, obviously it would have to be a situation where Harden continues to crater the franchise and they lost 6 in a row since he got there or something like that.
They haven't won yet?
I don't think so. I don't think they've won a game since they made the trade.
I thought they did recently, but I could be wrong.
Maybe they did.
Yeah.
I gotta see.
Yeah, I don't think they have been there.
Very good question.
But if he continues to crater and they decide to go in a different direction and they sell off and they're looking for some young talent and so, I mean, I want to win a championship, and I don't. How old is George? Is he? You said 40. I know that was a joke, but is he 34? No.
Maybe 34. Maybe.
I don't know. I think he's the perfect piece to put alongside.
You don't have a lot of wear and tear. I'll tell you that. Whatever his age is, you don't have a lot of wear and tear.
But he's big. He's a good wing defender. He fits really well with Brunson and Randle and Mitch and I mean perfect. I mean, look, I think that's a problem for teams. I would. This is probably why I'm not paid to be a general manager, but I think I would have to take a long, hard. If a deal was on the table, I'd have to take a long, hard look at it for sure.
A couple things real quick. They have not won a game. You guys are right. And Paul George is only 33. He turns 34 next May.
Get it right. He only 33, not 34.
And he got a podcast, so he ain't gonna do nothing in New York. Like, he just gonna do a podcast and come to the Garden and play ball, man. Like,
aren't he and Randall friends?
They are.
Yes.
So I like that too.
He was on his podcast. They seem like they have a very good, rapport with each other. I think there'll be they mesh well.
Yeah.
But trading quickly, though, is
That's
the problem.
what I was going to get to.
Trading quickly for Paul George is the problem because Quickley is the quote unquote, prized young player. Like, if we want to get a superstar, Quickley will probably be the number one player in that trade, I would think. Unless we get rid of like Brunson, or depending on the superstar, Brunson or Randle or something,
or
RJ. Like that, or RJ. But at one point, we were saying that I know RJ has been reassured, for the past few games or this season, but we had all said that Quickley was a bigger trade commodity than the RJ up until like 2 weeks ago. So, what I'm saying? IQ for Paul George, getting, trading him for someone that's not on his last leg, but, 33 and in his almost twilight years that's the troubling part that you don't want to get rid of quickly. I don't know if the front office would do that, to be honest.
Well, they also, with Quick, is the other part of the equation is paying him.
That is true.
The other part of the equation is paying them.
That's true.
And not only that, now you're putting yourself in a situation where time is of the essence, because if you don't trade him now and get what you can get, you're going to lose him for nothing, or you're going to pay him whatever he can get on the open market. So the Knicks wanted the smoke. And it looks like they're gonna get it. So, but I gotta be honest, I wouldn't be mad if Paul George came. If they traded for Paul, I would not be mad.
But
They keep losing.
Well,
Go ahead.
they're so guard heavy as well. So
True.
would they even want Quickly? Because that means we would have to take a guard possibly.
That's true.
Yeah, because they're quickly would be like what, Bones Nyland or
Well,
Highland. I mean,
plays. He barely plays.
He barely plays now, but it seemed like they don't, they don't like him. He don't play defense. At least that's what seemed like Ty.
Right.
Ty Lue said. So, yeah, you're right. Like he'll play over Bones Highland. But yeah, I don't know.
They still have Powell. Yeah. They got Terrence Mann.
Yeah, they got Harden. Yeah,
Harden.
Yeah.
Russ. We keep on forgetting about
and Westbrook.
Russ too.
Yeah. I mean, for those who just coming in, we just wishing.
Pretty much, yes. Yes.
There's been no talk of a Paul George.
Not anything.
But I did see that the Clippers they're gonna have a fire sale soon.
Oh, you did see that?
If they keep losing, they're gonna have to.
Yeah. They already took somebody off the roster already. So.
Oh, word! I didn't know that.
But I'm just saying, he just got there.
Right.
Harden just got. That's Linus for you. He just came in with his dirty blanket and just.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. Let's anything else on Quick? Let me see. Did I start some? All right. Yeah.
That's an interesting question though. Since they're so guard heavy, would they consider RJ Barrett?
Would you trade RJ Barrett though? I mean, we've talked about, so let's move into Barrett then. Mm-hmm. Would you sell high on RJ? Do you for the RJ hive? Relax. This is just a discussion. Do you feel RJ Barrett has turned the corner? This is who you thought he was always going to be. Now you're getting it. Whew. And you just lock in and rock with him. Or do you feel like, I'm not so sure. And if something comes along, I think I'm going to sell high. If something comes along. Or are you outright shopping him? I'm not outright shopping him.
Yeah, not shopping him.
I'm not outright shopping him. But that's a good point.
I think I'll go with B. I think if I'm not 100% sold on RJ yet. I don't hate him for people who think so. But yeah, man, I think it depends on the deal. It depends on who it's for. But I don't think he's untouchable. At least he shouldn't be. But I also don't, I'm not trading him for anybody either. Bag of chips or something. I still want RJ on the team, but it depends on what the package is or who we getting. For Paul George, like I think it was Nick Yak that said Evan Fournier, IQ, and 2 first rounds. So if it was Fournier, RJ, and 2 first round picks, would you still do that? I guess that's the question. No, I don't think I'd do that, to be honest. I'm not even 100% sure if I do for Quickly either.
Right.
So, yeah, I wouldn't do that for RJ. Not for Paul George, at least.
Yeah. I think RJ is turned the corner. Right.
Yeah, I'm saying if you somebody else in here, that's a different story, conversation. But yeah, for Paul George specifically, I don't know.
Yeah, I think RJ is I think he's turned the corner. And again, I don't expect his 3-point shooting to stay where it is, 50%. Like it's just not going to happen. I put everything on it. It's just not going to happen.
Right.
That would be better than Curry's best season. But I think he's crossed over in the sense of his process. So You know, is he untouchable? No. You know, he's not. But am I looking to move him? I'm just not. You know, um, and I don't think I would for Paul George. Yeah. Geoff is like,
I don't know.
Yeah, he deep thought, like,
Yeah, I don't know.
what's your thoughts, Geoff?
I don't know.
Told you, I
RJ's
don't know.
playing so well right now, but it's 7 games. It's 7
Yeah.
good games.
Right.
That's true.
yeah,
Like, it's 7 good games, and George just fits with our team perfectly. I mean, I don't know. I'd have to think about that one hard. I get it. RJ's 23. He's playing so well. He's doing everything that you wanted him to do, and he's. And again, I don't think anything's imminent anyway, so I don't think we have to worry about it. But,
Right.
you know, hypothetically, in a vacuum, you know, I might pull the trigger on that.
Yeah, you might pull the trigger. I don't think I would pull it on Paul George because of his age. But if it was Brandon Ingram, I would have to think about it because Brandon Ingram got that injury history too. That that's a concern. But if it's for somebody younger, I would have to think about it. But if RJ Barrett continues to play the way he's playing now, he raises the ceiling of this team.
That is true.
He raises the ceiling of this team, and I think it really comes down to what we talked about last week. And Kareem, you can weigh in on this, and that is, are you buying that what you're seeing over these first 7 games and FIBA and the playoffs is RJ Barrett going forward? Or you're not buying it? I think it really comes down to that. What's your thoughts, Kareem? Are you buying and selling or selling on that what we're seeing from RJ Barrett? This is who he's going to be.
I don't want to say I'm buying it yet.
You holding? Holding is an
I'm
option.
holding. I'm definitely holding. I like what I'm seeing, but like I said, I'm not buying it yet. It's too early, you know. And you know, with the headache situation or the migraine situation, I don't know what he's gonna be like when he comes back. So, you know, I'm holding right now.
Yeah. Let the record reflect that I'm buying.
She's the buyer of the group. We got.
I'm the buyer. Everybody else is holding, and I think whoever was on the panel last week when we discussed it held as well. If I'm not mistaken.
I give RJ credit though. Last year, RJ said the Knicks were going to shock the world, and they did. And you know, he works hard. He's young. I don't think anybody expected the leap that we've seen thus far. And I've never seen anybody increase their effective field goal percentage by 8% over the course of one season at that high a volume. If it's happened before in the NBA, then I don't know of it, but let him be the first. I got no problem with it. I mean, do your thing, RJ, and you know, clear up those migraines. Though we got to have you on the court, boss. I mean, he just right now just him being out there, especially in that second unit, just makes such a difference on this team. He's just and I'm someone who last year I thought really the fit was really clunky. With him and Randle and Brunson, but you know when he's hitting shots.
Right, correct.
When he's hitting shots, you don't have to worry about that. And I'm not even saying it's not realistic for him to be shooting. But if he's shooting 35% from 3 and 40% from the corner or something like that, that makes him an ultra dynamic player that raises the ceiling of this team. I mean, especially if he's playing defense the way that he is. So I have to wait because it's only 7 games, but at the same time, I so badly want this to be the new RJ. Like if RJ has come into his own and is fulfilling his potential and his promise, that changes our timeline. That changes everything. That changes what this team needs. I mean, because that's your wing with size, right? I mean, he's not the tallest guy in the world, but at 6'6", it's big enough. You know what I mean? That would be massive, and I'm rooting for it. Like I said, he came here. He wants to be here. The guy puts in the work. Keep it going, RJ. Keep it going. That's all I can say. I don't believe that what he's doing is sustainable at this level, but that he doesn't have to be at the level that he's at now to be a difference maker for this squad. And so, and to your point, Queen, and you said it correctly, it's the process is so much better and different. And he's not just put your head down, go all the way into the basket, and then try and figure out what to do with it when you get there, throw up some garbage balloon shot or whatever.
Right.
That's not what we're seeing. He's reading, he's reacting. It's like the Fred Katz story that I talked about last time. He threw to the corner because he knew that someone was coming in to help on him, and that spot had to be open. That means the game is slowed down for him. And that when the game slows down, that's massive because he can get to the rim anytime he wants, and he always has been able to.
That's correct. I want to let Jerrell say his last words, but if you haven't already, we got 149 in the chat. I haven't seen that in a very long time. I appreciate you rocking with us. We have 67 likes. Okay, so if we can get those likes up to 100, I would really appreciate it. It does help the channel. It's a free way to help the channel. Just hit the like button. Let's see if we can get it up to at least 100. I know Jerrell, he said he has a hard stop at 10:30.
Yeah.
Any last words?
Nah, man. Salute to the chat. We're playing well. Salute to the panel. Thank you, Steph, for having me again. Geoff, you the man. Kareem, you gotta come back again. This can't be the first and only time that you be on here. But yeah, we'll see y'all next week. I think Tuesday, right? Next Tuesday we'll be back.
Next Tuesday, 9:00, and then I'll see you Sunday, right? The Giants play Sunday?
Sunday, yes. Die Hard Giants. Unfortunately, we will be watching a football game on Sunday.
Let's go Giants.
Yeah, like I was going to say that I wasn't going to get off without plugging my own show, but yes, unfortunately, we still have Giants games to watch. I will be on Sunday halftime on the beginning of the third quarter. We play the Commanders, and it is what it is. All right, y'all have a good night. I'll see y'all.
All right,
family. Peace.
All right, brother. Peace.
All right. Let me get to the chat. Keith Turner wanted to know, but can you win a championship with RJ? Nobody answers that question. I'm not sure I understand it. Keith, are you saying can you win with RJ as your best player? Or can you win with RJ on the team? Because yes, you can win a championship with anybody on the team, depending on how the team is constructed. So let me know what you mean by that. As the number one guy, no, I don't think we have a number one guy in the championship team on this roster yet. Somebody may prove to be in the next few years, but for right now, I don't see it. Does anybody else?
Jalen's pretty close.
Think so? I think it could be a number one, the best player on the championship team.
He's pretty close. I don't know, but he's pretty close. And the only reason I say that is because he can take over a game like a superstar can. Like we've seen it in the fourth quarter where he just gets in his bag. His footwork is elite, and he just you
Right.
know, he's just unstoppable. I mean, and it's again, I mean, Miami threw everything they knew to throw at him. And a great defensive team. What he had 40 and 35 in the last two games or something like that. I think he can maybe not 1A, but 1B.
Mm-hmm.
I think Jalen can be that guy. Does he need more help than what he has now? Yes.
Absolutely.
I don't think this team presently constructed, but if you brought in another elite player with him the way that he is now, yeah, I think he could be 1B.
Yeah. Keith Turner clarified, and he said RJ as your best player. No. I don't think, at least right now. Next year, 2 years from now, he may turn out to be somebody totally different. But from what I'm seeing now, no, he can't be your best player on a championship
He could be Paul George.
contending team.
He could be for it. Very good.
Right,
Very
right,
good, Kareem. I like that. Way to bring it back full circle. That was good.
right. Oh, this is what he said. With RJ as right. No, I don't believe so. But that doesn't mean he can't be on the team, though. Doesn't mean he's going to be on the team. Yeah, Sherwin, I just disagree. I think he's a closer plus, because I think when people say that, and Sherwin, correct me if I'm wrong, I see it as people minimizing Brunson's impact and just saying he's not a really good player through 3 quarters. He's just somebody that comes in and closes a game, and I just totally disagree. I think he's really good throughout the course of a game, and he can close. And he can close a game. Now, is he a number 1 player in a championship contending team? I don't think so. That's not where I'm at. But he's still young in this position. You know what I mean? When Tatum didn't come in and become a number 1 player in a championship contending team. He had to grow into that. Embiid had to grow into that. All of these guys who are they had to grow into it. Who's to say he can't grow into it?
What do you think is holding Jalen back for being the player on the team, the number 1 player?
I just think experience. I just think being in that. Well, I would have to see him for a few more seasons. I got to be honest. It's more about consistency. I saw him do it in my Miami series, but did he just have a good series, or can he live at this level? If he's that guy from Miami, if that's who he is, then yes, he can be. Because when you think about your superstars, you're talking about players that teams game plan for, and it means nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And that was Brunson in Miami. But is that who he is? Geoff says yes. Geoff says yes. That is who he is. That wasn't just the Miami series. That's who he is. And I would
did
say
it to Donovan Mitchell twice. I mean, he did it to Donovan Mitchell, and we all, we thirsty for DM. We think Mitchell is a great player. He outplayed Mitchell in 2 years in a row. I mean, and I don't mean that to disrespect Donovan Mitchell at all.
No.
Quite the opposite. Just to say that that's how good Jalen Brunson is, that Donovan Mitchell is a star, and Jalen Brunson was better than him in 2 consecutive postseasons, and they played against each other. So I mean,
I'm not. Yeah, I hear you.
And then he did it in Miami too.
I think what you said, Queen, is that consistency, and I also think that if he work on his defense, and Jeff said it earlier that he noticed a slight difference in his defense. He got a little better, and if he passed the rock more, I think those 3 that will push him to the top.
I mean, yeah. I mean, but when you look at it, and you guys can run the stats for yourself. When you look at the past first point guards, he's right there with the rest of them in terms of assists, assist percentage, pass percentage off drives. He's right there with Dame. Who else is shoot first? Curry, Trey, DeJounte Murray. He's right there with them. So I think when we look at Brunson, we're comparing him to how we think he should play. And I think the best way to, assess him is against his peers, against the others that play the position. And he's right there with them. And you can look that up, you know, for yourself. And I disagree, Sherwin, because Miami put tall players on him. Just come on. I mean, we've watched Brunson. Let's not act like we haven't watched him for 82 games last season and in the playoffs. Where teams have put tall people, physical players. Miami through the kitchen sink. It didn't really change anything. So, I just think we have to kind of get away from the idea that there's a certain way he needs to play. He needs to be himself. He needs to be himself.
And he elevates the play of the players around him, I think, too. I think that was evident last year. I think one of the reasons why Julius Randle had his bounce back season was because Brunson was right there with him.
Right.
So I really think that I'm really high on Jalen Brunson. I think the best point guard we've had since Clyde Frazier, in my opinion.
Right. No doubt about it. But Sherwin, he's not Trae Young. And there's things that Brunson, and there's things Brunson does better than Trae Young. He's not Trae Young. Brunson is Brunson. Trae is Trae. Dame is Dame. Curry is Curry. Harden is Harden.
Busted Trae twice so far this year, and in fact, since how about this? Since Brunson's become a Knick, I think we're 7-3 against Trae Young.
Right. So, Kyrie was another one of the past first point guards that Brunson's assists, pass percentage off drives, assist percentage, similar, if not better. You can run the stats. You can run the stats for yourself. But anyway, some of us are higher on Brunson than others. It's okay. Some of us are higher on Randle than others. Some of us are higher on RJ than others. It's okay. When it comes to Sherman, you can't say nothing about Randle, but he got a lot of criticism for the guards on our team. Anyway, I appreciate you, Sherman. All right, so we've talked. So actually, Brunson was up next. Just your thoughts on him. I still don't. He doesn't seem that he's there yet. He's had stretches where I'm like, okay, that's the Brunson I recognize, but I don't see stretches of games just yet. He's taking more 3-pointers than usual. I think he's averaging like 6 on the season, and I think that's by design given how well he shot last season. So for the season, he's averaging 19 points, 3 rebounds, 4.5 assists, shooting just 42.3% from the field, but 45.7% from 3. Those are sniper numbers, him and RJ. 82.4% from the field, from the free throw line, and over the last 5 games, 20 points, 2 rebounds, 5 assists, the same field goal percentage, 42.2, but 53% from 3 and 88% from 2. So the free throws, the 3-point shooting is above his usual, but the overall shooting is not. What have you seen from Brunson this season?
Again, his finishing in the 2-point territory is not what we're accustomed to right now. I don't know if that's because they're packing it in the paint so hard and he hasn't figured out the correct adjustment yet, or just not not hitting the shots that he normally does. I don't know. I think that's going to come up, and I think his 3-point shooting is going to come down a little bit as the season progresses, which is fine in both instances. Jalen's a winner to me. I think that's the best way I can describe it. I just think he's a winning basketball player. I think what you saw in FIBA is when he has elite talent around him, he's more than willing and very crisp and elite passer with good court vision. He can do that. I think a lot of times he doesn't pass the ball because, well, I shoot the ball, I finish better. He wants to do whatever that he feels is going to help the team win the best. And if he thinks that's kicking that ball out to the shooter, then he's going to kick it out to the shooter. If he thinks it's taking it for himself, then he's going to take it for himself. And we wouldn't be where we are without Jalen. Jalen makes a huge difference. I mean, just think back to having Alec Burks as our point guard, and then get back to me about how good Jalen Brunson is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no doubt about it. Yeah, I'm high on Brunson too. He's my favorite player on the team, and I said that when we was doing a show with Tony Crow. He hadn't even played one game. He said, "Who's your favorite player on the team?" I said, "Jalen Brunson." He hadn't even played a game for us yet. But I do think he's growing, and in the position, and he still has to grow in the position as being a full-time point guard, and in the position as running a team, and in the position as being a major cog on a team, on a perennial playoff team, and that's going to take some time, and I think he's still figuring out, when to pass, when to shoot, and just the idea that he can get his shot at any time. And there's some players on our team like Mitch Grimes who can't, and how much do I want to try to get them going because I know I can get mine at any time. So he's still growing into that. So to Jeff's point, I'm not saying Jeff he could never be a number one on the championship team. I just don't see it right now. But I could see from that performance with Dallas when Luka was out, then he comes here and our team was out. We was here, but it's just inconsistent. He had inconsistent help, and what he was able to do, I can see why you're super high on the potential for him to be that. And yeah, I think the potential is there. I definitely think the potential is there.
Yeah, I think what I love about Brunson is that he's a smart player and he's real crafty with the ball. He has good court vision, and I know I can say for him passing the ball, we don't really have any good shooters on the team, So I understand sometimes he's like, hey, I'm going to go for self and just try to carry the team, So I understand that, but as the season go on, he will get better, and now since the team seems a little different now, they're all playing together, and he trusts certain players on the team, and that's why we're scoring a little better as well. But I'm not worried about him, and I know he will get better as the season go on, and maybe in the next 2 years he will be the main man on the team.
Yeah, definitely. Anything else on Brunson before we get to Mitch? All right, let's talk about Mitch. What have you seen this week? And since we're early in the season, what have you seen this season from Mitchell Robinson? Let me just run his numbers real quick on this, and the numbers don't really tell the story from Mitchell Robinson. They never do. On the season, 6.5 points, 11.7 rebounds, 1.5 steals, 1 block, Last 5 games, 6.2 points. I'm surprised his points is down. 11.4 rebounds, 1.8 steals. Not a lot of blocks the last 5 games, zero point 0.6 blocks. But just your Kareem, we'll start with you because once we turn it over to Geoff, we might not get the mic back.
Yeah, I'm concerned about the blocks. I
Really?
think he needs to pick that up a little bit.
Mm.
I mean, he was called the blockless monster for a reason. I mean, but I'm real surprised on how he made a turnaround this season.
Mm-hmm.
He's been picking up on his offensive rebounds, and he's actually, scoring and not falling on the floor. you know, so I'm real happy with the way he's playing, and like I said, if he can get the blocks up, that'd be great. I will say he's on the road to be defensive player of the year. I'm ready to put my whole paycheck on that.
Wow.
I stand by what I said.
Okay. I'm not. I'm not arguing with you. I think with Mitch, and we've said this a lot. A lot of what he does, you can't really tell. It doesn't really show up on the stat sheet. I think what I'm most impressed with is just his energy and just how he's
hmm
changing the game, even if he doesn't get a block. Just in terms of changing shots, just in terms of you know players not even wanting to drive in there because his presence, is there. And just the hustle factor, he seems to have taken that up, a level. Getting steals, he's in better shape. I think that allows him to be in position, be where he's supposed to be more consistently, keep his arms out. His defensive rebound, like right now, he's averaging just as many defensive as offensive rebounds, about 6 and 6. Both the offensive and defensive, and he just looks stronger. Actually, so really, really like what I'm seeing from Mitch. Just he's not just playing the game. I think in seasons past he's played the game well, but I think he's just dominating the game, and there's just a difference.
He's
You know,
also setting better screens as well.
and he's setting better screens. Mitch is setting better
hmm
screens. He seems to be more. Seems to be okay. Now I do think in that Charlotte game, and I didn't do the show after the Charlotte game. In that first half, I don't know. He looked a little slow. Like Ball was just getting in there, doing his thing, right over Mitch. So you can't be
Yeah, yeah.
everything all the time, but for
But
95% of this season,
mhm,
lights out.
I
What are you
think
gonna say?
also,
Before we get to Jeff?
yeah, I was gonna say also when the team plays better on defense, that helps him a lot as well because you
Yeah,
don't have to
absolutely, of
worry
course.
about running to the 3 point line trying to, cover somebody else's man. So that
Mm-hmm.
also helps as well.
Mm-hmm. We have 17 likes from that 100. We got 125 watching. We got 86 likes.
Smash that
Smash that
adjective.
thumb up.
Yep. Hit that add J button. Appreciate you, JJ. Um, I'm sorry, Jeff.
Well, I love it. I'm so happy to see Mitch play that. That one play last night where the ball's going out of bounds. He snatches the ball, has the presence of mind, sees the guy,
Mm,
throws the pass, and he doesn't shoot it, but we get the ball swung to the other side and then hit the three. That play just epitomized what Mitch has meant this year. I love the way that he's playing, and I just be a star in your role and do the things that you can do
It.
at an even better level. I mean that's what we're seeing, and when I wrote my piece about Mitch in the summer as my homework and prep for when we were cramming to understand it,
Mm-hmm.
one of the things that I said was I made a comparison to DeAndre Jordan. in their first couple of seasons.
Mhm.
And what I've noticed and what I said at the time was, I don't think he'll ever get to the rebounding percentage that Jordan was at. Well, all of a sudden, right now we hear, and those are the numbers that he's putting up.
Right.
Like, he's become a DeAndre Jordan level rebounder on both, not just on the offensive glass, but on the defensive glass as well. And that is a big time game changer. And if we can ever figure out how to get him involved in the lob game, and you know what else that has struck me, and it ties into what Kareem Grant was saying? I think he's helped Randle get on track too, because it seemed like when he and Randle were doing the pick and roll together, that seemed to get Randle back on the right track, And so it's just little things like that. And I didn't really trust Robinson a lot in the pick and roll a lot of times, because I didn't think he was a particularly good screen setter. I mean, in fact, for a long time, I thought it was actually Sims did a better job of setting the perimeter screens than Robinson did. But I don't know that we haven't seen Sims play, I guess, so it's not necessarily a fair comparison. But I think he's up to his level of that part of his game, and that's critical. I really think that's crucial for him, and I think his field goal percentage is climbing, so that's good to see, even though the points per game aren't. But the free throw shooting
56.4.
Free throw shooting continues to be a disaster. I mean, 40%. It goes down every year. How does that happen? I don't understand. Like, he was at like 68 as a rookie, and now he's at 40. Like, I don't get that. But the other thing in the Atlanta game, I don't think he had a single foul.
Right, you're correct.
So he's playing smart. That's what that says to me, because he's clearly still aggressive, because you don't get those rebounds without being aggressive. But he's being aggressive and he's being smart, and that may be a reason why his block numbers are down a little bit. In addition to the fact that people know by now they don't want to go in there. I mean, he's just a deterrent. They're not even. I'm not even going to. I know that's a bad play. I'm not even going to go in there. I'm going to stay on the perimeter more. When Robinson is in the game, I think the scouting report is out. They don't want to challenge him. It's a fruitless enterprise, and so. But I also think he's not chasing blocks like he did. I mean, he'd have 4 blocks and 4 fouls, in 15 minutes, as a rookie. And so, we need him out there. And actually, we're okay either way, because Hartenstein has played fabulously as well, to his credit.
He's just picking up the fouls too. Like, he's becoming like Mitch rookie season. You know what I mean? 15 minutes, 4 fouls. But he's playing well otherwise.
But I really, I think it's huge to be able to have 48 minutes of good play at the 5, and not only that, but to be able to mix and match and have different looks at the 5 spot. I love the combination. I love the differences in their games. I love that we even saw, a little perimeter shooting from Mr. Hartenstein. We could keep that up. That would be a good thing. But I love our 5 spot. I think our depth there is outstanding, and I'm comfortable whoever's in the game. And I also like what Thibodeau's doing with the substitutions, offense for defense. He knows that Mitch is a weak foul shooter. He's getting DiVincenzo or somebody else in there, at the right spot, using his timeouts well, using the stoppage of play and his substitutions well to minimize that. I think that's great stuff.
Yeah. No doubt about it. I think we got most of what the chat was saying about about Mitchell Robinson. Yeah, playing well. Just your thoughts on quickly, and we'll get out of here. The Mark Jackson report. I don't know if people read it. I tend not to care about these things, but I'm the host, so I figure it's Nick news, so I should bring it up that Mark Jackson, was fired. We haven't even seen him yet, but he's been, he's been fired, so he won't be, backing up Clyde when Clyde can't make, road games. And then he came out on Instagram and said he wasn't fired. He turned the job down about a week ago, and he just wanted to set the record straight because it wouldn't go away. Who knows? But is that something you care about, and do you have any thoughts about it?
Gus Johnson did a good job.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I don't really care. To be honest with you, win games. I don't care about any of that other stuff. We won 4 out of our last 5. You and I could do the broadcast. I don't care.
Right. Kareem, is that something you care about or have any comments on?
Nah, I didn't even know he was hired in the first place. So this is all new to me.
Right. Exactly. All right, good.
Yeah.
We covered it. Okay.
Yeah.
We covered it. Anything else about the team? Anything else about the Eastern Conference, our division, that we want to discuss before we get out of here?
Boy, this Eastern Conference is tough.
Isn't it?
It's pretty tight. It's tight.
I think that in order for the Knicks to finish 3rd or 4th, they're going to have to play lights out because there's not going to be any easy games, any gimmies.
Yeah, this Washington game on Friday scares me. I don't know why it shouldn't, but we need to take care of business this back-to-back. I know second game of back-to-back and everything. We've got to get to 8 and 5. We just don't mess around. You're a better team. Go out there. Don't have one of those schedule losses or whatever you want to call it.
Right.
Take care of business. I mean, RJ get healthy. I think if Barrett comes back, that helps that along. I think if you don't have Barrett or Grimes,
right,
we should beat Washington. But again, every time you're missing a player, that affects our depth. I really thought that was a big thing in the Boston game.
Right.
Especially down the stretch, because we were in the second game of the back-to-back and they weren't. And the one place where I feel like we could potentially punish Boston is if we have all 9 guys, but when you're cutting it down to 8 and you don't have RJ on the floor,
right.
I don't want to make excuses. Boston's a fantastic team. We might have lost the game anyway. Who knows? And it's a bad matchup for us with Kristaps and Mitch and the whole thing. But again, I don't know. The East is tough, but I don't know. I don't have this very often with my teams, but there's a certain calmness with this Knicks squad. I just have a quiet confidence about this team. I don't usually have that about any of my teams. I just have this quiet confidence that we might have a hiccup here or there, but in general we're gonna play good ball. We're a good team. Are we the best team? No. Are we gonna be competing for a championship as constituted? No, but I just feel like there's this baseline of competence that's there that hasn't been there since the Ewing era. If y'all remember, I mean, when Ewing was here, we were second round of the playoffs every year. You know what I mean? It wasn't, are we going to make the playoffs? It's when are we going to get the Bulls?
Right.
Is it going to be in the semifinals? It was going to be in the Eastern Conference Finals. That was the question. Or the Pacers or whomever, the Heat, whatever. But it wasn't a question of were we going to make the playoffs? And I don't think it's a question of if this team is going to make the playoffs. I think if the Knicks are healthy, I think we're going to make the playoffs. I think it's a question of where we end up. And I right now, anywhere from the 3 to the play-in is a realistic possibility. I think you could win 45 games and still be the 7th or 8th team. I think I think that's a legitimate possibility, just
Right.
because I think you're already starting to see the East kind of sort itself out in some ways already, and we kind of have seen that Detroit is still struggling, Washington is still struggling, Charlotte is struggling, and you know, everybody else is pretty much in the mix. You know what I
Right.
mean? And
Yeah.
so,
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. Miami then moved up to 8-4, and Miami. I mean, it was early in the season though, but I don't think any of us thought Miami would
they
be
won
3.
7 in a row then, because they were 1-4.
Right. They're 7-3 over their last 10. Miami has won 7 straight without Tyler Hero. Right? Tyler Hero is out. And
Jimmy
they
Butler and Bam.
Strus is where he is. I forgot the other guy. Was it Vincent?
Yep.
Is on another
Yeah.
team. Miami is about something else. Maybe this is this culture they're talking about. Like, it doesn't really matter who's there. They're gonna do their thing. They're in 3rd place right now. The Pacers 7-4. The Bucks 7-4. And then when you look at the 6 and 5 teams, it's the Knicks, the Hawks, Orlando, and then the 6 and 6 is the Nets, and then Cleveland is 5 and 6. And I don't think anybody expects Cleveland to end in the 10th spot. This is gonna be a dog fight, this Eastern Conference right here. What's the easy game? The Raptors, who are in 11th place?
Not
I don't
for
think
us.
I don't think that's gonna be an
Not
easy
for
one.
us. Yeah.
Maybe the
Not for us.
Bulls, who are 4 and 8. You know?
Yeah.
The Hornets, the Wizards, we'll find out because we play them next. Other than those bottom 3 teams, there are no gimmies in this Eastern Conference. Do you think the Pacers are for real? I mean, they're playing at a breakneck speed.
Kind of think they might be. Halliburton is. That's another level, right? What he's doing right now. What he had like 30 assists without a turnover or something crazy, something like that. They have athletes. They, you know, they're. I think the Pacers are good. I don't know that they're this good, but again, is that a formula for postseason success, or is that just, you know, something that teams just kind of have to learn after about 25 games how to, you know what I mean? Because everything's kind of new. How long can they keep that up and maintain that? They have a good team. Miles Turner's a good player. I mean, you know, Toppin and looks like he's figuring out some chemistry with Halliburton. So, you know, and they've got a lot of good players. So I'm not overly surprised that they're 7-4 right now. So the East is tough, but the Knicks were built for this, man. They're built for the grind. That's one thing that's consistent with Thibodeau teams. They're built for the grind. They don't typically, knock on wood, but they don't take games off. You know, they treat every game like it's a playoff game, and so, you know, I think that helps you over the course of an 82 game season.
Right.
And we haven't really gotten to see. I think our bench is going to be a lot better than we've seen it so far. You know, because with Barrett being missing for a couple of games, and DiVincenzo hasn't really found his legs with that unit yet, and Josh Hart had a pretty good game against Atlanta. I thought
he did.
You know, I know if you still have him on your fantasy the team,
I dropped him.
I dropped him.
I dropped him right before that. I want to get to JP, who made a good point about Miami. So I'm looking at, they're on a 7-game winning streak. Their last loss was against Milwaukee. They beat Brooklyn. Brooklyn's not a bad team. I think people are sleeping on Brooklyn. Brooklyn's not a bad team. They beat Brooklyn. They beat Washington. They beat the Lakers by 1. They beat Memphis. They beat Atlanta. I don't think Atlanta is a bad team. And they beat San Antonio. So out of those 7 games, you know, I do think Brooklyn and Atlanta were formidable
But by the
opponents.
same token, some of our wins are Charlotte and San Antonio, and
Some of our wins are not that strong. Listen, you just
get your wins. You don't worry about
schedule.
You play your schedule, and that's the thing. We've got to take care of business this week and get these wins because we've got a 5-game West Coast trip that's on the horizon. I don't know if we're going to go 3-2 like we did last year.
Right.
So get while the getting is good. Take advantage of the games where you have a talent disparity in your favor, and don't mess around. I mean, look, we found out what happens when you mess around with the Wizards in the last game of the preseason, right? That was supposed to be our dress rehearsal, and we got pounded into sand. So I hope that they all are remembering what happened at the Garden that night, and then they come out and they take care of business. And
right, for sure.
And
shout out to
again,
sorry, Jeff. Shout out to Paris Duggar. Mark is an all-time New York guy. Knicks once again are being seen acting badly with popular ex-players and players. It's why guys don't come here. I don't think that's why guys don't come here though. But I do hear what you're saying. It doesn't look good. It doesn't look good for the organization. But I don't think guys are saying I don't want to come to Knicks because of that. If the money is right and the situation is right, they're gonna come. But I hear you, Kareem. Anything you want to say or anything you want to add? So we play Charlotte.
Just to add on, I think, like I said, we have the continuity of with the team, and I think we have the edge, and to where we should be able to beat the teams we're supposed to beat. So I'm not worried about us as far as the playoff spot. So I think we'll definitely be in the top 6. Yeah, we have the other teams that that's doing really well, but we beat them before. So as long as we stay on top of Atlanta, we're good. So
right.
I'm not worried. I think we'll do good.
We'll
probably be number 4.
Oh wow. I would be happy with that. We got after Charlotte and Washington, or Washington and Charlotte, we got Minnesota. Minnesota's been playing well. That's a Monday game. Yeah.
5th game on the road. That's gonna be tough. After 3rd game in 4 nights, all on the road, those are the kind of games against a team that plays really stout defense. That feels like one of 3 for 27 from 3 kind of games, like we had against New Orleans and and Cleveland the second time.
Right.
Oh, plus we're coming off a back-to-back game too. So
Friday, Saturday. Is it Friday,
Monday.
Saturday? Yeah, Friday, Saturday, and then Monday.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Any last words before we get out of here?
Salute to the chat. Kareem, you were great. I hope you come back with us again. Man, it's so much fun. You're a great addition to the panel. Queens, the hostess with the mostest, as always. It's incredible. It's such an honor always to be here. And the chat, you guys are what make it fun. So keep doing what you do. Smash the AJ button and support the two Knicks chicks also. We gotta show them some love, Lady and the Chef and Diva Lots.
Yeah, no doubt about it. We need 2 more likes to get to 100. So if you haven't hit the like button, 2 more likes to get to 100. Or if you got another Gmail account, just log on over there real quick and hit the hit the like button.
Yeah,
I got about 4, so whenever I'm subscribing to a channel, I'll subscribe from all 3. All right, we need 1 more, 1 more like. Jeff, Kareem, Grant, I appreciate you. I appreciate the chat. I'll shout out some of you. I'm not going to be able to shout out all of you. Mega NYK, always a pleasure. Keith, Knicks 100 at GM, JP, Nick Yak, Parish Duggar, Ran Rock, Ugly Gang TV, Kevin Bergen. It's been a minute, I think. How you doing? IKBM Dre. Appreciate you. Big Chino. I like that. Appreciate you. King Imbert. Hope I said that right. JJ, East Blue Drew, Kerry Cox, It's Me, Sherwin, of course, A Train. I'm not going to get to everybody, but I just appreciate the X production. I think he said this was his first time, and he usually listens while he's at work. The coolest 718, man child. Knicks are nice. I think I may have said that already. And everybody else, I definitely appreciate it. I don't take it for granted. I'm as far as the morning show is concerned, if you wasn't here at the beginning of the show, I'm not going to be doing them as regularly just because my life is just getting a bit hectic right now. So maybe I'll figure out to, I don't know, move it to noon. That'll definitely help me out. Par it down a little bit. That'll definitely help me out. But for right now, I'm taking a training and it's just taking a lot out of me. And I just need that time to put into that. So I will be back. I'll be doing the morning show here and there. I'll probably do one this weekend. But I'm not going anywhere. It's one of my favorite shows, actually. I actually like rocking with y'all in the morning time. But I'll definitely be doing Mondays on the Queen's Court, Thursdays here. And where I can, I'll be dropping in for the morning show. I appreciate all of you. And until next time.
You tune in, that means you're feeling the vibe. The bell rung, you already been subscribed. Right now, the queen, she on live. Please pull over the whip, no phoning when you drive. Dope Soul, sporting with the talk. First lady from New York, Brooklyn. All my people, you rocking with the chat. Hit that. That like button would tell me where you at. You know, Step from the MBK. Born and raised up MBK. Hey, real lady, where she holding it down. No matter way how you feel, she gon' greet you with a smile.
Sister, you one of a kind.
Yes.
Oh, sister, it's time you
That's
shine. Dope Soul.
Where you at? Where you at?
Dope Soul.
Where you at? Where you at?
Dope Soul.